Studylab has three major users: the teacher, the student, and the admin. In this particular video, I'm going to show you what the teacher can do. So right now, I'm on the dashboard, the first place that the teacher gets into when he signs in. And here I have the classes that I've been assigned to, just for test purposes. 3 classes. And depending on who is selected, everything that I do would affect that particular class. So for a teacher, the main things that are on my mind are: what are the activities that I've sent to the class in terms of lessons? What are the quizzes that I've sent to the class? Who are my students in this class? I can see all of them here. And how have their general performance been, okay, over, let's say, the period of a week? And then for the lessons that I sent, if those lessons have assessments inside of them or small quizzes, I could see them here. Or if I had sent quizzes, specific quizzes to my students, or if they did some quizzes on their own, like Math WIEC, for instance, I should be able to take a look and see how my class is doing. Great. So let's start with, like I said, the first thing that the teacher would like to do, which is to manipulate lessons. So I have 2 lessons here. One is the theory of production, the other is Waju's lesson. For the fact that lessons are here, it means that students would see it on their activity tray as current things to be done, and they will be able to do it. But if I switch it off from here, then from the student side, it will also be switched off. But let's say that I want to push another lesson here. So all I need to do is to go to lessons, and then I can take from the available lessons, some of which were created by me as a teacher, or by other teachers in my school, or by teachers in other schools, in what we call the public lesson directory or the public lesson library. Public lessons are not available to students unless the teacher sends them to a class. Unless the teacher sends them to a class. Great. So I've done that. But the teacher can also create her own lesson by coming here. And the lesson has a title, and she'll put it, and then the description of what the lesson is about. Select the class, and then the standard if it's NERDC or IGCSE or Olympiad. And then the lesson document allows you to add different kinds of content. So here I can add text content that allows me to type, or I could add video content, in which case I would upload a video, or I could add an assessment, in which case I would choose lessons from the bank for a student to be able to use, or finally I could add a document. So all of these can exist in one lesson, and it's best to be able to plan a lesson to be very interactive so that you can use this. When I'm ready to publish it, I can come to publish, and then select the subject that the lesson falls under, the topic it falls under, and then I could ask myself, is this the very first lesson or is this the second lesson? In which case I'll use this button to connect it to a first lesson, and then I can save and exit. Or I could actually even preview the lesson from here to see how it would appear to the students. So when I'm done here, the lessons, and I exit, I'll come back to lessons, and then from here I can send it to a class, or modify it, or share it, with other people, or delete it. Okay, so I had saved this lesson to the class, and I would see that it is available under the class to which I sent it to, which is Just One Go Mathematics. Great. Oh, fantastic. Now, having sent this, I would like to send a quiz to them. And so what I can do is to come to the quiz bank, and then I will click on Add Quiz. I would use this to choose my questions. So I have integration here, which is highlighted. I could look for any other topic that I want to by switching this off. So let's say I want a quiz in chemistry. So I select chemistry, and then I could see the different topics with the number of questions they have. So I'm interested in matter, for instance. So I've selected matter. I'll just give this a little bit of time, and then you can see that it has changed. So I select the questions that I'm interested in, and then I will say done, after which I will go next, give this a name. I would set the day it goes live for the students and the time exactly it goes live, when it is archived, and when it is shut off, how long the test will be, the number of questions that should be in the test. So for instance, I could actually put, say, 50 questions and say, hey, randomize, say 20 out of the 50 questions for this particular quiz. All right, I will go next and then select the class that I'm interested in. So let's make it just one go physics. Just one go physics is doing a chemistry quiz. I'll say next and then I'll publish. I'm successful. All right, so it was a just one physics class that I published the quiz to, and there is the quiz. From here, I can actually preview the quiz and see what questions there are, and if there's a feedback to any of the questions, I can see that here. All right, so these are the questions, and that's great. This is exactly what the students would see. As the students do the quiz, or as they read your lessons, you would see the views here based on lessons that students have read. And then based on quizzes they have done, you would see it under reports and under quiz. So I can see that there is a chem quiz here, and selecting it allows me to see an analysis, the class average, how many students are there in the major grading demarcations all the way to A, and then the specific learning objectives that quiz highlights, and then how each student has fared across in the quiz. So that's that. Now under the curriculum, Studylab also allows students to do some exercise by themselves, some practice, exercises themselves. So as a just one physics teacher, I could say, okay, in just one, I want to do physics. So I switch on physics, just means that they will see it there. And under that physics, I would switch on the sections that I'm interested in. Let's say it's going to be mechanics and the basics. So under the basics, these are the topics that they would have available to them for practice. All right, I could switch off the ones that I don't want them to interact with, just so that they stay focused. So we call this the active curriculum, and it allows students to do some practice by themselves based on what the teacher has opened up for them. So in a nutshell, this is Studylab for teachers, and like we said, anytime you need help, just come to this button. You can contact us on these two numbers, or you can actually go through a walkthrough, or there is a set of instructions that would load here that will show you everything you need to see.